Okay, I started on this, the case for this banjo clock, and what I did was I took the bezel off. This was absolutely filthy, corroded. So I've polished it. Turns out it's copper, probably copper plated over brass. And that seemed to be the style. A lot of them were like that, so I'm going to leave it as copper. I took it apart basically because the soldering on this was just atrocious. It had a flat piece of glass in it, and luckily I went through. Here's what was in it. It was this piece of glass. Took that out. That was a replacement, pretty poor replacement, badly broken. I did have in my storage stuff, thanks to a friend of mine who I got interested in clock repair. He was a tool and die maker. He moved away a number of years ago. Unfortunately, he passed away a couple years ago, and left all of his supplies to me, and within those supplies was a bunch of glass pieces, and this curved glass will go in here very nicely. And that's what was originally in here, was curved glass. So the flat glass will be gone, the curved glass will go back in. Anyway, we'll be working on that in the meantime. Put the glass away. I also got there was a paper dial on the thing. I put it, I got it upstairs as I ran it through the copier, and I'm going to be doing some work with it, and we'll be redoing this whole bezel. And now, as the case, looks like the case has a lot of just accumulated dirt and grime, like some cases. People don't seem to be able to take their clocks away from where they're painting, and so this one has some paint splatters on it that should really be taken off. I'm going to open this up. I'm going to remove this door with the bottom panel on it. Probably the bottom panel should be taken out. We will do something like that. Anyway, there's a few screws to take out on this. All I need to do is take 4 screws out to completely remove the hinges for the bottom panel. And I'm going to order an eagle for it. The owner of the clock left a finial to put on the top. And I suggested that the original had an eagle on the top, not a finial. So I will be ordering an eagle to put on the top, make it as much like the original as we can. Take these off as well, just remove them completely. I think for the sake of safety, you see how easy this glass is going to be to get out. These with this reverse painting, as you can see that there's some of the paint that is cracked. Let me see if I can zoom in on some of that. It's cracked and it's beginning to bubble up. Now, I've not restored these kinds of things. I'm did some reading. There's some water-based acrylics that can be purchased and injected that has the same refractive index as glass. It can be injected under these pieces and it'll supposedly bring them back down. Read another where it says to take the glass and put it in a airtight container with a few drops of acetone, and it's supposed to soften the paint and let it settle back down. I don't know what to do. We're just going to have to study that a little bit more. But I think in the meantime, I'm going to take that glass out and store it where it can't get broken. And we'll do the same with the waste panel. This one's in good shape. There's no evidence of any paint coming loose or bubbling or anything, so we'll work these loose between our strips of wood. They're held on with 2 small brads. Let me get another cloth. Are out of the way and safe, and we'll examine this first to make sure that we don't have any cracks, breaks, anything loose. That's good. A little bit of damage here. Scratches. We'll see what we can do with that. Anyway, we'll work with those, and then we'll also work with the case. I'll go ahead and set these aside for a bit. And let's check the case out. Just do some cleaning. First thing I'm gonna do is take that gong strike out. We'll clean this too with cleaner. That needs to be cleaned. There's quite a bit of dirt on that. Case itself, let's just go here and check. A little chip out of the wood down here. A bit here, that's where the little pins on the bottom of the waist go in. Really isn't visible. We'll see if we can't fix that though. Just some general dirt and dust. Okay, there's a label on the back, and this particular model, let's see if we can get this, it's called the Whitney model. As far as the back of the clock, there's a crack with a piece that's actually broken and loose, so that really needs to be re-glued. There's a crack here. See if we can repair that. Here's the hanger. And we'll see, here's holes here that are meant to screw the case to the wall once it's hung. But the back is just held on with a series of brads, so we'll go ahead and remove that. With the glue bar, or the back off, I can see that there's, like here, this glue block, corner glue block is loose, as is this one. There are other pieces here that are loose. So I think what we'll go ahead and do is we'll take apart what we can that needs to be re-glued, and we'll do some gluing. Okay. These just seem to be held with nails, but I think if we can take these side pieces off. These side pieces here are held on with screws on the inside. We need to take those off so we can clean the parts anyway. So we'll dismantle that and go from there. Get the bottom box off. All that was held on with is some nails into the bottoms of the sides. Oh, well, anyway, we want to stabilize this and get it back together. And we'll see about the rest of this later. It looks like these are currently only held with nails there. We may have to do something with that as well. Okay, we have these pieces taken off. And biologically, something interesting here. Casting up an insect of some kind right here. Okay. And I think I saw another one somewhere. We shall clean these pieces and re-glue them. There's what we've got so far. And another insect casting, so I don't know what that was, but we don't need bugs in here. We're going to use wood, and we're going to use some of this material, and we're going to clean. Looks like this has been touched up or something in the past. And we're going to get the dirt off of here. Using, I read an article that suggested this. Seems to work. It's taking the filth and dirt right off. And see how well it works. Grain of the wood is coming out now. You see the wood again. Oh yeah, that is really taking the dirt off. Let's see if we just wipe it now. Definitely looks nice, really nice. A secret ingredient Compare that to the other side. That's looking much better. It's basically, this was recommended, is just Mechanics waterless hand cleaner, and it doesn't have water in it, and it contains lanolin, which kind of feeds the wood. So it's taking the dirt off really nicely. We will continue to clean with this. I'll try this piece. Oh yeah, that's getting right to it. See the color coming back to this too, that mahogany. Oh yeah, the wood grain is coming out nicely. Look at the dirt coming off of that. Yeah, just do some basic cleaning like this. Check that out. There's some marks on the finish. Well, continue that way. Marsha just brought me a nice cup of hot chocolate. And this is trying to stay with the grain of the wood. Not always possible. And it is really taking the dirt off. And it leaves lanolin behind as a wood feeder and polish. I'll just let that's what's coming off. We're getting lots of gunky dirt off. Side. A lot of dings and dents here. Look at the dirt coming off of that. Just keep going until we get all the dirt off. Cleaning hands, I guess, and get the grease off and doesn't cause any further damage. Oh wow, that's really bringing. Seeing how the cloth is getting cleaner. Okay, and we'll just keep working that. And hopefully we'll end up with a nice clean clock with something that looks near original finish. Whew. I don't know if the video picks up the difference, but just looking at the grain, look at the grain that comes out on that now. Oh man, what a difference compared to that over there. Really works well. Okay, let's do these side pieces. Let's see how much dirt comes off. Right there is what we're starting with. I'm going to getting. Pretty dirty. Just keep cleaning with it until we start to see a change in still dirty. Really deep cleaning. Oh, see, it's starting to turn lighter. I don't know if you can see this one, but this finish is alligatored. Let's see how that works. Taking the dirt out. I'm going to remove the alligator, but that's all right. Let's see what that is. Almost looks like a staple. I don't know. Right here. Let's see what that is. Put my magnifiers on. Hope somebody didn't put a staple in there. Nope, I don't know what it is. Some kind of sticky something or other. Okay. That's better. Okay. Might be alligator, but it sure looks cleaner. Okay, on this side, it's still glued and solid. This side is unglued, so we're going to have to reattach this after we clean it. Let's see what the difference there is. There's the before cleaning. The thing I have to do here is got to watch out for nails. And we'll clean this and see what it looks like. This actually feels greasy. Yeah, look at the dirt coming off of that. Getting there. That's some clean stuff here. Okay, it's getting down there now where it's not nearly so dirty. Okay. Yeah, that definitely looks better. Let's compare that side by side with the other one over here. That looks better. Here's one that hasn't been cleaned. Here's the one that has been cleaned. I can definitely see, I don't know if the video shows it up, but I can sure see a grain pattern in here more than I can on this one. I need some glue. Well, so far what I've done, put all the pieces back together. These with a basic frame, and I had to re-glue all of these sections. They were very loose. Up here, this one was this section was glued and tacked in very well. This one had been split so badly when I re-glued it, it didn't want to hold, so I re-drilled and actually put a brass screw in there to hold things together. That's not going to be seen, but it makes it much stronger. And I don't know if you can appreciate, but the tone of the wood and everything now, I'm very pleased with. That worked out pretty well. Some of the marks I can't get out without damaging the original finish on it, so I'm going to leave it. And now what we're going to do is I got to put these little side pieces back on. Those have been redone. They looked just black before. Now you can see some grain in them. And you can use a polishing cloth on these to bring back a sheen. Generally pretty pleased with the way the case is looking. Looks real good. I'm going to put these back on now, and then we'll take a look, see what it looks like then. Okay, there's a couple of blemishes here. I thought there were paint spots, but they're not. If I tried taking them off, it makes a gouge. So I've got some something to try to fix that. At least hide it. So it looks a little better. I don't like the idea of those spots staying there. So. And hopefully that'll hide it. And it's just this stuff called Wing Finish stain marker. It's just used for fixing up blemishes. Once that's on, we can take a rag, wipe off the excess, and you can still see it dents, but they don't stand out as white spots. And this is where the bottom of the center panel has a little pin on it. It's supposed to go in there, and that's all chipped out, so I think I want to repair that. So I put a piece of little tape around the corner to form a little dam, and now I'm going to fill that hole with baking soda and super glue. First I have to stand it up vertically. I'm going to take some baking soda. I'm going to put some out here on a piece of paper, and I put a little bit of baking soda in the hole and super glue to it. Let it sit and it will harden. And now we're going to add more, shake some more baking soda over it. Sit for a second, and then I'm going to brush the excess baking soda away, and we'll clean that up. But that is already hardened, like a very hard plastic, and we'll be able to sand that smooth. And I'll be able to drill a new hole in it for the pin to fit in it. And then we can cover it up with some stain. I'm going to take the tape off of it. Holding the camera on one hand and doing this. Okay. That's got to be sanded off there. It's not bad. So I'll sand that, come back to it. Fill the fine holes with a little bit of wood filler, let it dry, we'll sand it and then stain it. And these stripped out screw holes, And did a little baking soda and super glue. I'll allow the screws to fit tight again. Okay, what we're going to do now, I'm going to treat this backing. It's very dry. I'm going to treat it with a painting on a 50% solution of mineral spirits and boiled linseed oil. We did just boil linseed oil. It'll take a week for it to dry. Okay. The interiors can be coated that way. And that way I'll have feed the wood, and we'll also prevent cracking. Let me see, I got one in here that I use all the time. We're just gonna, oh, what the heck is that? Okay. And this will soak into the wood. Feed the wood. Dry relatively quickly because of the mineral spirits in it. This will also help keep dusting of the wood fibers and help keep the movement cleaner. Don't get any dust in there. Now, this does not put a coating on the surface like varnish or something like that would. This literally soaks into the wood, helps swell the fibers, and keep things from cracking. And we'll just you just really should continue to coat this until it quits sinking in, and then you can wipe off any excess. This will definitely help keep this wood from cracking again. Go like this. Also cleans everything up. Should go around the edges, seal the end grain. go. Okay. Let that sit. Clean look. There, putting the back on. Have to drill some holes and put them in a slight angle. Hinges are also copper. Or copper plated brass. Paint is coming, bubbling up, it's cracking. I really have never repaired anything like that, so I really don't want to mess with it. There is some, read an article about injecting a water-soluble acrylic can be injected under the bubbling paint that has the same refractive index as glass. So once you fill it with that acrylic and the acrylic dries, then you won't be able to see on the front where the bubbles are, and it will adhere. Will adhere that loose paint to the glass. Okay. Close. Okay. Surprised there's no handle or anything on that to pull that open. This has got tiny little pins here. And there's pins right here, go back here. So we put this one in, we just put those pins into the holes in the bottom, push those in, and then when this closes, okay, there's our case. Now what I have to do, I have to order eagle for the top, and then I have to work on that dial. But there's the case and the work that we've done on it. So I'm real happy with that. Looks nice and clean. Looks good. Here's the case. The bezel is still being worked on. The dial will have to wait until I get silvering powder. That's been ordered. And I've ordered a metal eagle for the top to make this look like the original. Oh, there's the case.